game. We said, look at Sam Darnold's Week 7 numbers, and he completed 82% of his passes, almost 300 yards. Thought we were going to get a repeat of this. Turns out, worst in completion percentage, yards per pass, and kind of deep throws, 10 or more air yards.
And I think the fewest points they scored all year.
Yeah, no touchdowns. So was he exposed? Did he go pumpkin?
Oh, my God.
I sat here last week when we asked which team between Detroit and Minnesota needs the 1 seed more. And I said it was Minnesota, mainly because of Sam Darnold. Not that I expected him to go pumpkin mode necessarily, but he's never played in a playoff game as a starter. And so I thought it was important for him to do that at home. Now, yesterday, you said it kind of like a playoff game. It wasn't one and done, but it was a playoff game, and he goes out and has arguably, it wasn't his worst game. He had 3 picks against Jacksonville, but one of his worst games of the season. You can argue that yesterday was the first game this season. You can argue that there were really major expectations on Sam Darnold. I think throughout the season, it's kind of been anything he gave you was gravy. We don't expect much. It's really Justin Jefferson. It's really Kevin O'Connell, Aaron Jones. Now, you start talking about him and others in the MVP discussion. And so now it was like, oh, Sam Darnold can ball. He's arrived. And that puts pressure on you. I don't know whether he felt it or not, but I'm just saying the circumstances are everything before was, oh, wow, he played well.
That's right.
He played great. Yesterday it was we expect him to ball, and he fell on his face. Yeah. And they got pressured. Like you said, they brought the house Detroit, and they hit him 14 times, sacked him twice.
According to First Things First, 10 times.
10 times? Okay.
Well, Josh is a stickler for what he views as, hits taken 10, pressured 22, and pressure
there
percentage,
you go.
49%.
But so you could say, oh, was it the pressure that the QB hits, did they take their toll? But early on, he was off. And we got some clips here where these are all this is the first quarter. Look at Hawkinson, the tight end, wide open.
That was a big miss.
Yeah, just
and that was
straight
after
misses.
Because it seemed like they were somehow going to salvage that drive with that 3rd and long. Yeah.
You see this? I thought he should have went to
3.
Addison.
Addison's wide open.
Yes, he should.
And that should be your obvious read. It's
and
like
he was looking at him initially.
And then didn't rip.
Yeah, wide open, and then he just misses.
3 at the
there
top.
It is right there.
Yeah.
That's an easy touchdown.
Yeah.
Real quick, so he missed that one. And then he missed here. He misses Justin Jefferson a few times. You see this in the back of his. Now, I thought Jefferson should have caught it, but he made it a lot tougher than it had to be.
And usually Justin Jefferson makes it, but that's still.
And then this was just terrible. Now the score's 7-0 at that point. So it's 7-7
well, they were
if you
living inside the 10-yard line. I think he was 1 of 9 on his. He had first 9 throws inside the 10. So Brew, you almost couched it. Now I didn't want to say couched it, but you were like you could argue. This was without a doubt the biggest game of his career.
Yeah.
With his whole career, not just with the Vikings, his whole career. The only thing anywhere close to a playoff type of game he's ever played in. And he was brutal. Now, like you said, it's not a big enough sample to be like, oh, the moment got to him. That's not fair. But this is actually, while it is one of the cruelest things at times about sports, it's one of the things I find so gratifying about watching sports. This sport in particular, because football's a small sample size sport. Just is. You're never going to get your 5,000 at bats. You're not going to get 400 NBA games.
Right.
Small sample size sport. Sam Darnold went into this game all right, I play great. I'm going to be on a lot of MVP ballots. Not at the top, but I'm going to be on a lot of MVP ballots.
True.
We get the bye, get the 1 seed, and I'm looking at almost a floor of $100 million coming my way. I play great. Now Sam Darnold walks into his next game and says, if I play poorly, I'm just back to being Sam Darnold again. That's
elevated Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but not that much.
Right.
But it really changed.
If they lose the next game and he doesn't play well,
plays poorly,
I've been saying they should sign him.
Yeah.
but it will make you be like, maybe just franchise.
Correct.
Okay. This was so cringy. I mean, to even ask the question, Sam Darnold been exposed as a pumpkin. Oh my God, this is so irritating. Okay. First off, as Colin Cowherd actually perfectly talked about how the NFL is, a step league. How you get better and better in steps. And we know the vast majority of quarterbacks in their first huge playoff type game, they don't play perfectly. They don't look as great as you would want them to be. And this was a playoff game, essentially, for the Vikings. So if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt there, that's fine. If not, whatever. But prior to this game, he had a huge game against the Green Bay Packers, where at that point was his biggest game ever. And the pressure was there to continue for this 1 seed. And he balled out. There's a reason why after that game, the Vikings showered him with water. They were celebrating him, lifting him up. He stepped up. He rose to that occasion. So just because he now didn't have a great game means that he's out. He was extra fired up. Yeah, his throws were a little bit extra. They were a little bit quicker. They were a little bit higher. You see this in any throwing sport, especially baseball. They talk about this all the time. If you ever watch baseball playoffs, all the starting pitchers throw in the playoffs like an extra 2-3 miles per hour faster. And it's not intentional. It's because you have all this extra adrenaline going. It's not like you're saying, I'm trying to throw even harder. It just like naturally happens. And it's something that starting pitchers, I almost said starting pitchers in the NFL, starting pitchers in baseball, like they have to figure out, they have to kind of manage a little bit. You got to be careful. And that seems to me is kind of what happened with Sam. But like saying that he's been seeing ghosts, he was pressured nonstop. He was getting just attacked snap after snap after snap after snap. And when he could make a throw, nobody was open. Everything was so tightly contested. They could not run the ball. So they were unable to do anything to relieve this burden from Sam. It's a tough situation to be in. It's a tough situation. I don't think the Vikings stepped up in this game. I really, really don't. When you look at what the Lions were able to do compared to the Vikings were not ready. When you needed a big play, Van Ginkel pick 6, the Justin Jefferson touchdown drop, like those were plays that those players absolutely, we know without a shadow of a doubt, can make. Would they have been great plays? Undeniably. But you need great plays. You need great moves. And so that, anytime that they were able to kind of do that, they couldn't. I don't agree. Kevin O'Connell had them go for multiple 4th downs. Kick the field goal. Feel good about the drive. Kick the field goal. You're on the road. Like Tom Brady said, in this type of environment, when you're on the road, kick the field goal. Get the points. That changes everything. And if it's good enough for Tom Brady, then it's good enough for Sam Darnold. Like, I'm pretty sure, actually, now come to think of it, that was the Vikings game against the Packers that he said, and he criticized the Packers for doing it. That just changes everything. It changes the play calling. It changes the momentum. And again, I love Kevin O'Connell. Who am I to question Kevin O'Connell? But that's the point of this channel. For us just to kind of say whatever we want. Me, fans, everyone. I would have liked the field goal. Especially when you know how locked down that defense had been against the Vikings. And again, Sam Darnold clearly did not play perfect. He absolutely had some bad throws. But then he's also being harassed. He's being attacked every 5 seconds. He's not kind of getting the benefit of the doubt of a run game. They're not able to kind of, get Addison, Jefferson, etc. involved. No one's making some plays. He had the one big run from Akers. Outside of that, it was like nothing. It was constantly 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. It's a tough spot to be in on the road in that situation with your quarterback where this is essentially his first playoff game. It's a tough situation to be in. And then it all compounds. When you're being blitzed nonstop with no answer for it, no run game, and not having your playmakers able to kind of like help bail you out a little bit, when you do make some bad throws now, it just becomes suffocating. There's just no one's able to step up. And I think the defense played pretty well against the Lions. I know they ended up giving up 31 points, but I think the defense played really well, keeping it close. This game was much closer than the score ended up being. I mean, obviously, clearly, from my viewpoint, clearly. But the Lions deserve to win that game. You can't twist it in any other way. The Lions were more prepared. They were ready for that moment. But again, when we talk about good throws and bad throws and this and that, Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions. I mean, some really, really bad moments, but was still able to come out on top. Because they were able to get the run game going. They were able to get the ball to the playmakers. Their playmakers did make nice catches, good moments. The defense did continue to be suffocating. You know, they were 3 for 13 on third down, 0 for 3 on fourth, 0 for 4 in the red zone. You know, this was a tough game. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. This was a tough game for the Vikings, but I think it ends up being a good thing. Because this was now essentially their first playoff game as a team. And they all got a wake-up call. The coaching staff, the players, everyone. Everyone was kind of just like, whoa. Okay. There's a different degree to this. We got to bring a different degree of intensity to this. And now the Lions showed what they would do against the Vikings. You think Kevin O'Connell's not going to be ready for that? You think Sam Darnold's not going to be ready for that? Of course they will. There's a real opportunity that the Vikings will play the Lions again in the very next round. Do you think the Lions will be able to repeat that? You don't think Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold will be able to work together and be able to figure out a way? Justin Jefferson, Addison? Of course they will. So if we want to now just be like, uh-oh, Sam Darnold exposed, pumpkin, haha. Come on, man. This is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Was Josh Allen exposed against the Bengals in the playoffs? Was Lamar Jackson exposed against the Chiefs in the playoffs? Like, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? Why is it that when a player has a great game, we say, this player's legendary, this player's an all-time great, no one's better than this player? And then when they have an outcome that we don't want, or a poor game, it's, this player's overrated, he's not that good, he's garbage. Well, he's not as good as Tom Brady. Yes, you're right. We established that. Sam Darnold is not as good as Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Tom Brady. We figured it out, guys. It took us all season. We got there, though, man. It was a hard one. It was a roller coaster ride, but we got there. Sam Darnold is not as good as Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and will never be as great as Tom Brady. I know, that's shocking news. That's shocking news. But sure, let's be like, he's seeing ghosts. He's a pumpkin. The Vikings are done. This is over. Come on, man. The Vikings this whole time have been punching ahead up above their weight. The team as a whole collectively did not put their best foot forward. And I think it was a great thing because they are all hyper-focused. They are not getting too high on their own supply at this point. They know what's up. They know what can happen when the games matter now. They saw it 31-9 and they got slapped. They know it. They know it. And if you don't think that this team isn't going to do everything they can to move forward, that they're just going to roll over, come on. Come on, man. Again, what are we doing here? So ridiculous. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Vikings? Do you think Sam Darnold was exposed? Do you think the Vikings were exposed? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.